Welcome to the Online Meditation Center. Listen. Meditation is easy. There's no hocus pocus. There's no magic. From the vantage point of a noisy mind, it might seem like magic, but it's not. It is the most simple thing. Of all the things you as a human being can do and not do, meditation is the simplest thing that exists. In fact, it's even simpler than falling asleep. Really. Because to fall asleep, you have to actually relax. You have to lay down in bed and relax enough to fall asleep. Unless you're so stressed out you simply lose consciousness, but that's not really sleep. Not in that way. So meditation is even simpler than falling asleep. It's even simpler, more simple than breathing. Not breathing automatically, but breathing consciously. You could say meditation is as simple as seeing. As long as you're not blind, then it's as simple as not seeing. Because before all that you think you are, before every thought in your mind, I'm a boy, a man, a girl, a woman, somebody's husband, wife, somebody's daughter, brother. I have this degree. I own these things. I have these pets. I own this house. Before all of those thoughts, before any emotion, I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm confused. I'm in joy. Before any emotion can appear, before any thought appears, meditation is already the case. Have you noticed that when learning to meditate, the first thing you have to learn is how to let go of all the noise? Of all the noise swirling and twirling around. And so you repeat a mantra often in your mind. And the focus on the mantra, on the simple sound, or maybe a simple sentence that might be in a language you do not know, so it's simply just a sound. That focus on that simple thing to the exclusion of everything else, actually removes everything else, helping you to reach that which was already there, here. And then after some time, only the mantra and you exist. And you might think, great, I'm meditating. But really, when you're at that point, you need to drop the mantra as well. Because then the mantra is the noise. It's the only noise that's left. So drop it as well. And then you simply are. Or rather, then you are aware of simply being without no extra noise happening. And then you might realize that that noiselessness was already always here. In fact, without that noiselessness, that clear background, that clear ground, none of the noise could exist. Because that noiseless background is the very space that the noise exists in. Right? And so meditation is simply becoming aware of the space that all the things going on inside you and outside you is happening within. And so the noise, the things, are not themselves or itself the problem. The thoughts does not actually inhibit your meditation at all. The clear sky is still clear, even with the clouds. Even with pointy mountain tops obscuring the view, the clear sky is still there. It's still clear. And that's what it's like. So the problem is not the things, the noise. The problem is your focus on the noise. You putting any kind of significance onto the noise, onto the things. A thought says something, you focus on it, and you believe it to be true, to be important. That's when you lose sight of the natural meditation, which is always here. If you could just let the thought be and remain grounded in the space, then you could simply walk through the forest without ever bumping into any trees, so to speak. Because your mind is a forest. And the forest is made up of thoughts, of noise. And each tree is beautiful. When you move up close to it, it's intricate. All this I shouldn't say symbols, but in your mind that's what it is. But all this, you know, what's the word? My mind is blank. Let's just say there's a lot of details on each tree. Each thought contains an entire story about whatever the thought is about. And so when you pick up a thought or move close to a tree in the forest, you will see all the little intricacies that that specific thought is about. But do not pick it up and just let it be a tree in your mind and move through it. And no problem. You remain aware, clear, here. But of course, this is where the trouble comes, sorta. Because when you're not used to being aware of the space, of that which is not a thought, but which is simply the space thoughts appear in, then you don't know what to look for, so to speak. You only see thoughts. You only see trees. You do not see the space in between the trees. There's a tree, 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 there's a tree. No. It's space. With trees just popping up here and there, but it's mostly space. It's the same with thoughts. So what the mantra does is, you could say, it's picking one generic tree with almost no detail, and it asks you to keep your focus on that generic tree, and you focus on that tree to the exclusion of all other trees. You focus on it so deeply that the entire forest evaporates. And at the moment you become aware of the forest having evaporated, you let go of the focus on that tree as well. And poof. Only space remains. So, you keep your focus on the mantra until you realize you are in a meditative state. And then you let the mantra go and you simply exist as an aware space right now. That's the function of the mantra. And then when you're aware of the space of the meditation happening, then you can become acquainted with that silence, that thoughtlessness. And the more you get acquainted with that, the more you realize it's always here. And the more you realize it's always here, the easier it is to notice it during your day-to-day life. And the more you notice it in your day-to-day life while doing other things, the easier it will be to be aware of it. And the more you do this, and the longer you keep your awareness on it, the more silent you will become. And this is the path to being in meditation 24/7. Because this thoughtless space, which all thoughts and all things appear within, is always here. Meditation 24/7 is already happening. It has been happening since your birth. Since before your birth, even. But that's another story. So meditation is simple. It's easy. Because it's nothing to do. You just have to recognize it happening. And then being acquainted with it. Getting used to being aware of it rather than any single thought. And then thoughts might stop appearing as much, or you might simply not care as much because you're still here. So, have a great day.